You're welcome to my channel. My name is Teacher Godwin, and I'm happy that I'm talking to you right now, and I'm talking about you a very important topic or a very important thing in our lives, which is, of course, related to business. I'm a teacher of business. Now this is my third year teaching it, and yes, I got an idea that if I share with you some of these things continuously, you would learn and be a better person. And yes, as we live together in this world with purpose. So I'm going to talk about business, as I'd said. And I don't know, in your mind, that's not a new word, I'm very sure. How do you define business? I don't know how you define it. But me, before coming to this profession, when way back in school, they used to tell us that business, what we used to call then economic activity, is anything or any activity man does to earn a living or to earn a profit. And that was on my mind ever since then until now that I found out what the true meaning of business is. So the true meaning of business is any activity done to produce goods and services that satisfy needs and wants of customers or consumers or individuals, if I can use those words. So in my statement, compared to what I used to know, there is a difference in that back then they were saying you're doing a business to get money, but here they're telling you the main aim of doing business is produce goods and services that satisfy needs and wants of people. So you may be there wondering, why do I have to tell you this definition? Is to open your mind, because I realized recently, especially in these developing countries like ours, Uganda, most people start business with the aim of making money, which is not the real cause of business. And I think it's the reason as why we have many businesses that start and fail, because their motive is always to make money. Money cannot be the reason as to why someone starts a business. I'm now helping you. I'm giving you the best reason as to why you should start a business. One is that the business you're going to participate in should be able to produce goods and services. Then those goods and services should be satisfactory to needs, or satisfying to the needs and wants of people. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. So the thing is about satisfying needs and wants of people. I don't know if you know the definition or the difference between wants and needs. So if I maybe I can help you. Needs are essentials for life, things we need to live. And then wants are things that are necessary to have, or maybe things man desires to have but are not necessary for living. And of course, I think you know this, social studies, needs and wants. So examples of needs, I think you already know them. That's food, shelter, water. I think those are the main primary ones, as Jesus talked about them. By the way, Jesus talked about needs. And in Matthew chapter 6, I think verse 25, God talks about clothing or things to put on, food to eat, water, what to drink. He's telling us not to fear about those ones. So those are the main needs for human beings to live. And if I can maybe give you more detail about it, needs and wants, needs are natural. They are God-made. As I've told you, Jesus recognized them and talked about them. So these ones, they don't change from one person to another, or from one place to another, or from one area to another all time. These ones are constant. From the moment a person is born, these needs are mandatory. A human being, once you're born, you need to put on, you need to eat or feed, you need to drink. That's the truth of life. So these ones, even if you're rich or poor, you need food or you need to put on, regardless of how expensive or how good what you're putting on is. You need to dress, you need to eat, you need to take water or drink something. Without those ones, you don't have life. So also something more about needs in business sense is that needs are relatively cheaper compared to wants, as I'm going to show you. Of course, wants, those ones, in most cases, the nature of wants are just for pleasure. You don't really need, you can survive without it, but you sometimes we desire to have them, you have a liking to them. So, for example, you can desire to have a phone, but you can live without a phone. You can desire to have maybe a car. You can desire to have maybe a bungalow, maybe compared to. So you can also desire to have maybe a smartwatch like mine, things like that, maybe a personal computer. But you can live, you can have life without them. So these ones, then once they change with time, what you want today, if they asked you like in 1 year time, it is a different thing. You also know that today you may want to have an iPhone, I don't know the latest one. Then now as time goes on, they tell you there is a new model, then you also want that. So needs change with time, they change from place to place, they change, once change with time, as I've said. And the last part about wants is that they're expensive in nature. Yeah, if you know what are examples, even the ones you even know, they're expensive in nature. So I'm just telling you that business aims at producing goods and services that satisfy needs and wants of people. So then another thing maybe I can help you about is the difference between goods and services. Goods are tangible items, of course, that satisfy needs and wants of people. Keyword, tangible. You can even describe them as divisible, visible, physical, as I've already said. So examples of goods, we have, also goods are categorized into two. We have producer goods and consumer goods, or capital goods and then consumer goods. Consumer goods are basically the ones that meet the needs of the end user. For example, if you go to a shop and buy a dress or buy a shirt and you put it on, that's if you're the end user of that shirt. So that one becomes a consumer good. Then the other opposite is a capital good or a producer good. These goods, you use them to produce other goods. For example, if you go to, let's say, you open a restaurant, you go to a shop and buy a blender. So you're going to use the blender to produce another good, which is juice. You got it right. So those are the, of course, also consumer goods. We have the durable ones and we have non-durable ones. The durable ones, I can say, for example, if you buy a personal computer, it is durable, it can last for more than a year. But if you bought, let's say, a snack on the roadside, or maybe you bought some tomatoes for your home use, that is non-durable, you just use it there and then. So basically the difference between durable and non-durable is that durable ones, they go beyond a year, then non-durable ones, less than a year. So I think that's also important. So if I can also go back a little bit in the business definition, I can tell you that a business aims at production, as that's the beginning, because I said activity done to produce goods and services that satisfy needs and wants of people. So production, that's where I want to take more time. Production is not by the way, production is something that God created us for. God's main, one of the first God's intent for man is to be productive. Yeah, it is stated in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, where God, that this is the first time, because like in Genesis 1:26, God created man. That's when God created man. Then 28, God is talking to man for the first time. And here what God tells man I think you know that is Adam, if you didn't know. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, I'm using KJV, be fruitful. That's the word I want to take more time. Be fruitful. The translation of fruitfulness, of being fruitful in Hebrew, is be productive. So the Bible is telling, God is telling man, the first thing God tells man is that be fruitful, which means be productive. All right. So do you know what that one means? It means that production for man is a natural or divine obligation. Like we have to be productive. Right? I think that's a good thing to remember. So I don't know. Do you think you're productive or not? And you may be wondering, what am I productive? Well, what should I be productive in? I've already told you. Productive of goods, services that do what? That satisfy needs and wants of customers. So I want to talk about it further, but let me first give you 2 reasons. I've already given them to you why you need to start a business. One, I've already said it is a divine or godly or natural mandate of God to man. God created us to be co-creators in His, on earth as He's in heaven. So for us, we are sent here to co-create with God, to create more things, to produce more things. So that is a clear motive of God. And once God says a thing, He makes sure it gets fulfilled. So regardless of you being born again or not, if you venture into a business, since God is the one who directed us to venture into businesses, it has to be successful, provided you're aiming at producing goods and services that satisfy needs and wants of these people, not to make money. Then another one, I've already said it, is to satisfy needs and wants of people. In most cases, people, that's the best way of getting money. I think, let me say this at this point, is that when you do a business that produces goods and services that satisfy needs and wants of people, money comes as a reward, not as the main motive, or as it is just a reward. So also that's another important thing, that when you start a business and receive money out of it, you're taking it as a reward, not as maybe something that you're supposed to have. Mm-hmm. So if I can go back to my production thing, being fruitful, I've already told you that that's being productive or doing a business activity that produces goods and services that satisfies goods, needs and wants of people. So let me also tell you something interesting before another way you can be productive. Okay, when worst comes to worst, if you can't produce goods and services that satisfy human wants, this is something you can venture in. As I've said, that's what God told man the first time God interacted with man. Then the last time God interacted with man was Jesus, when Jesus was ascending to heaven with his disciples. This is what Jesus told them. He said, go there afar and make disciples of all nations. The rest is you go read that scripture. So my key thing is, another thing that Jesus or God is interested in for you and me is in making, or to venture in the business of making disciples. You may be wondering what the word disciples mean. Disciples basically is or are the students teaching someone whatever you've been taught. That's the best way of making disciples. Jesus taught us about the kingdom, so he said we should also teach others. So another way of making disciples is by venturing into it. You do evangelism, you open you plant churches, because that's how Jesus operates. So that's how the kingdom operates. So dear friends, it is about being productive. We need to be productive, and because of that, we get productive by producing goods and services that satisfy needs and wants of people. Then we also make disciples of all nations I'm just going to be talking more about that in my next video. So stay tuned and have a nice time.